want to get an interesting and well-paid job that suits your personality. It's hard, isn't it? Well, I've got a solution. In fact, I've got two solutions. But be ready to think differently, because most of the people who give you advice have been teachers or lecturers or professors or career advisors. Hardly any of them have ever had a real job outside of academia. And quite honestly, they just don't know what it's like. But we do, and we're going to really enjoy telling you, because it's going to help you a heck of a lot. And by the way, these courses are free, or at least they should be, because it's payback time for people in business for the fantastic value we get for nothing, effectively, from Google and YouTube and all the other stuff you can find on the internet. So enjoy. Get used to getting something of real value at minimal to zero cost. As professional trainers and interviewers, we can assure you that if you do this Get the Job You Want course, you're going to increase your chances of being offered a job by 10 times. If you also do the Parallel Interview Ninja course, you're going to increase your chances by 100 times. And that's because we've designed the whole thing to be what we want to see and hear. And if you're going for an interview, surely you want the win-win, but it's important that you can convince people that you're the person they want. And we tell you and show you just how to do that.
Good morning. This is an introduction to a set of videos that were recorded on behalf of the Institute of Practical Learning. They were recorded by Graham Lamb, that's myself, and my grandson Corbin Lamb. So Corbin was facing a particular choppy period where he had finished his ordinary schooling, which one does in the UK typically through till you're about 18 years old. And then you're faced with what to do next. Now, many people dodge that decision, or maybe it's a good decision. They go off and do what's called a gap year. They travel around the world and maybe think about what it is they want to do next. Others are encouraged, pushed even, to get a position or a place offered by a university and go on a particular university course. Often they're very strongly influenced by what course to go on by their school. Parents these days are often slightly out of touch with the options available to young people. But Corbin was facing a challenge. His school had encouraged him down the scientific route to look at physics and mathematics and so on, but it really wasn't speaking to his soul. And I think he was genuinely concerned about what to do next. Now, I was super privileged in that he came to me for advice. And the reason he did that is I've been a trainer in industry for many, many years, and I get to train people after they've done their degrees or even higher degrees, and they come into jobs and then they finish up in front of me in one of my classrooms or my colleagues, and industry's asked us to make them more productive, more useful, because the academic skills they have are not really relevant to the modern world. So I've built up a massive amount of information and courses and lectures and stuff on those sorts of things. Corbin was smart enough, I think, to realize that maybe there was something there that I could help him with. Now, an area where I have specialized to some extent is the area of soft skills, which is helping people handle their emotions, be better at social interactions, be able to present themselves well, to be persuasive, and many other things that soft skills offer. So Corbin said to me, can we work together, and could I coach him in those soft skills? And of course I was absolutely delighted to do it. And we set off on a program. Now, we agreed at the very beginning that, well, I particularly asked him, did he mind if I captured the whole process on video? Because I'd never seen anything like that done before. In the training rooms that I'd use, we'd videoed the occasional session, and that was interesting. But I had never seen anyone go from the beginning through to the completion of a phase, at least, of learning soft skills, and indeed the basics of business. So he agreed to that, and that's what we captured. So as we did the coaching, as we went through the method I use, which is called the dialogue method, he agreed to talk to camera periodically and grow that as a parallel skill with the normal soft skills. If you can develop the soft skills to do both, then you're in almost a controlling position, so that at later stage, when you go for things like interviews and stuff like that, or when you get that job and you're in a business meeting, you are ready and equipped. And we live in an age of globalization where anybody going into business has to be mindful of opportunities in other countries, the global world, of competition, of people traveling into one's own company or country and seeking work and being competitors in the workplace in itself, and understanding how you're going to survive in that environment and how you're going to not just survive, but how you're going to prosper. How are you going to work with people in a multicultural environment? And so you cannot take for granted the normal Western values that we use. I've especially focused on making him a more effective interviewee candidate. There's a thing I do with people called Interview Ninja, where as a collection of skills that you can learn, just as ninjas learn how to, fight and do things and use the right tools in the right way. So we went through that, and there's about half a dozen, or possibly even more, dialogues that I had with Corbyn, where I really ramped up the pressure. In my view, it's an absolutely unique resource. I've never seen anything like it on the web. And the thing is, potentially, and I say potentially, you can learn a great deal from watching it. But how much you learn is entirely up to the way that you approach this material. If you watch it as vague entertainment and then just get on with business as usual in your life, well, I don't know, you may learn a little bit. But if you see it as a source of study, where you can somehow use the technology to watch a video, let's say it's a 10, 15, 20-minute video, you watch it and you stop it at periods and think, what were they talking about? Was there a concept there that might be useful to me? And when I'm talking to Corbyn about what he wants from life and how he's deciding on his priorities, stop the video at that point yourself and sit back and think, well, what do I want? What do I want my journey to be? What are my priorities? And go from there. Make notes, follow through. And so by the end of the process, in a way, you will have written a textbook for your life. So you won't be able to buy a textbook that tells you all this stuff. What you need to know, and the concepts and the facts and the methods and the processes, they're all there in these videos, and they're all there for you to discover. It is based on some work, if you are interested, by a chap called Carl Rogers, who's written some books and so on experiential learning. And it's also based on cognitive behavioral therapy. Now, this isn't therapy for the sick. This is coaching for the normal and the good, to take them from good to great and from great to excellent. And that's where I hope you're heading. If you're happy to just go from, get to be normal and less stressed out, that's good, Anything that you can get from these tapes that'll help you reduce your level of stress and discover yourself, that's fabulous. Everybody doesn't have to be good and great and excellent. Just to be normal can be enough and can be fabulous. So good luck with it. I hope you choose to use the material on the journey that you want to be on.